The whole educational and professional training system is a very elaborate filter, which just weeds out people who are too independent, and who think for themselves, and who don't know how to be submissive, and so on, because they're dysfunctional to the institutions. If we don't believe in freedom of expression for people we despise, we don't believe in it at all. The smart way to keep people passive and obedient is to strictly limit the spectrum of acceptable opinion, but allow very lively debate within that spectrum. Optimism is a strategy for making a better future. Because unless you believe that the future can be better, you are unlikely to step up and take responsibility for making it so. I was never aware of any other option but to question everything. Either you repeat the same conventional doctrines that everybody else is saying, or else you say something which in fact is true, and it will sound like it's from Neptune. Do you train for passing tests or do you train for creative inquiry? Science is a bit like the joke about the drunk who is looking under a lamppost for a key that he has lost on the other side of the street, because that's where the light is. It has no other choice. Most problems of teaching are not problems of growth but helping cultivate growth. As far as I know, and this is only from personal experience in teaching, I think about 90% of the problem in teaching, or maybe 98%, is just to help the students get interested. Or what it usually amounts to is to not prevent them from being interested. Typically they come in interested, and the process of education is a way of driving that defect out of their minds. But if children's normal interest is maintained or even aroused, they can do all kinds of things in ways we don't understand. The kind of work that should be the main part of life is the kind of work you would want to do if you weren't being paid for it. It's work that comes out of your own internal needs, interests and concerns. Look, part of the whole technique of disempowering people is to make sure that the real agents of change fall out of history, and are never recognized in the culture for what they are. So it's necessary to distort history and make it look as if great men did everything. That's part of how you teach people they can't do anything, they're helpless, they just have to wait for some great man to come along and do it for them. Peace is preferable to war. But it's not an absolute value, and so we always ask, what kind of peace? Education must provide the opportunities for self-fulfillment. It can at best provide a rich and challenging environment for the individual to explore, in his own way. The social system is taking on a form in which finding out what you want to do is less and less of an option because your life is too structured, organized, controlled and disciplined. The point of advertising is to destroy markets. Not all evils can be rectified, but ongoing evils surely should stop. So we march on, following our leaders, toward an Armageddon of our own making. Willingness to be puzzled is a valuable trait to cultivate, from childhood to advanced inquiry. What's the point of being better than someone else,